Canelo Alvarez's latest training footage reveals sharp speed and precision, sparking debate as fans weigh Crawford's potential speed advantage ahead of their anticipated showdown. Canelo has shared some recent training footage that has sparked a surprising reaction from fans regarding his upcoming potential matchup with Terence Crawford. The footage, showing Alvarez working the pads with his coach Eddie Reynoso, highlights his hand speed and precise punches. While Canelo looked sharp, some fans believe that Crawford, known for his quickness, could actually have the edge in their fight. Several viewers commented that Crawford's speed might be the deciding factor, with one fan even predicting that Crawford would become undisputed across 5 weight classes.
I know I'm smaller than Canelo. I know I'm smaller than these guys.
He's a thick kid.
Yeah, we know that. But at the same time, we got to see.
So when I say that he's small, and buddies go, that sounds negative, man. Understand, that's why if he does it, he's one of the greatest fighters ever, or best fighters ever. That is why. Bud said, I know I'm smaller than him, but we're gonna have to see.
A lot of people, my whole life, been doubting.
That's what he's fighting for. Anytime you tell Crawford he can't do, he wants to do it even more. Bars. That's what greatness looks like. So when we say he's small, it's facts. No, he's actually the same size. Done. If he is, that makes the feat less great and also make Crawford less great. But the truth of the matter is, he is smaller than that. That's why it's a great feat. Huge accomplishment if he can do it. And he get credit from me just for trying.
Despite these reactions, there are also many supporters of Canelo who continue to back the Mexican champion. Some pointed out that Alvarez is still in top form, with his power remaining a key strength, especially at 168 pounds. They were excited about his upcoming bout with William Skull on May 3rd, a fight that could set up a mega showdown with Crawford later in the year. Crawford, who is stepping up to 168 pounds for the first time, is aware of the challenges he faces. If Alvarez successfully defeats Skull, he will set up a huge battle with Crawford in Las Vegas in September, with the opportunity to become undisputed champion once again. Crawford, having just won a title at 154 pounds, will need to gain 14 pounds to face Alvarez in the super middleweight division, but he remains confident in his abilities, calling himself the best pound-for-pound fighter. He acknowledged his respect for Canelo's career, but is determined to prove himself against him, focusing solely on their fight.
Terence Crawford, Canelo is the biggest fight in boxing right now today. There's no other fight out there that's bigger than Canelo.
So you think
Crawford.
Your fight would do bigger numbers than Benavidez Canelo?
100%. 100%. Let me tell you. African American, Mexican, they always made for the biggest fights in history. Going way back to Pernell Whitaker, Chavez.
Yeah.
You know, so it's gonna be, you know what I mean, electrifying. You know, I can easily go fight Virgil Ortiz or Fundor or whoever to, you know what I mean, make a quick buck or make a quick little penny, but I'm looking at the bigger picture. You know, this is a legacy fight. This is a generational fight, you know, that will be talked about for years.
Meanwhile, Teofimo Lopez, who has watched Canelo's training, believes Crawford will give Alvarez a tough fight early on. However, Lopez predicts that once Canelo adjusts to Crawford's style, he will take control and finish the fight in the later rounds. Despite the size advantage that Alvarez holds, the excitement around the potential fight continues to build, with fans divided over who will come out on top. Dimitri Bivol recently weighed in on the potential matchup between Crawford and Canelo. Despite Crawford's exceptional skill skill set, Bivol cautions that size alone won't be enough to overcome the many challenges presented by a fight with Canelo. Bivol, who bested Canelo with a strategic approach at 175 pounds, acknowledges that Crawford has qualities that could pose problems for the Mexican champion. However, he also recognizes the immense difficulty of jumping up 2 weight classes to face someone as physically dominant and experienced as Canelo.
And he has very good skills. He's one of my favorite boxers. He able to win this fight, but there is a lot of but, and even not but, there is a lot of things, small things, which we don't know how he will deal with this.
Bivol, having spent time with Crawford recently, was surprised at how big the welterweight champion looked in person. While Crawford's increased size might provide hope for those supporting him in the weight jump, Bivol stresses that size alone doesn't guarantee success in the ring. He points out that there's a significant difference between looking like a super middleweight and actually performing as one. Canelo, who is known for his power and ability to absorb damage, will not make it easy for Crawford. Bivol explains that the bigger punches at 168 pounds will be a different challenge for Crawford, especially given the strength and durability that fighters in that division typically possess.
First reaction, of course, it was about size of Crawford. Is it okay for him to move up for 2 weight classes? Yeah, and he has very good skill. He able to win this fight. But there is a lot of but, and even not but, there is a lot of things, small things, which we don't know how he will deal with this. He need to get used to the power and pressure of 168. Maybe he will get used to it, and how he will be feeling himself on the same day when he will fighting, how his training camp will go on, a lot of things. But he's able, he has good skills, he's awkward, he can use 2 boxing stands. It gives him benefits, of course.
Bivol also emphasizes the importance of mental preparation in this fight. The added pressure of facing a physically imposing opponent like Canelo could cause a fighter to falter mentally, and this is a crucial factor in ensuring success. According to Bivol, when a fighter isn't mentally prepared for a challenge, they can easily become overwhelmed, causing their body to break down under pressure. The mental strength needed to face Canelo is just as important as physical preparation, and Bivol believes that Crawford's mentality will be put to the test in ways he hasn't experienced before. He said, "It's not only about getting used to the power, it's also about being mentally ready, because when people are not prepared mentally, they are afraid or scared, you become weak, your body become weak. When something new happens and you weren't ready for it, we all know this feeling, the body melts, it becomes soft." Mentality is very important for this fight. Despite these concerns, Bivol remains optimistic about Crawford's chances, particularly due to his versatile fighting style. He acknowledges Crawford's ability to switch stances fluidly, a skill that could make it difficult for Canelo to time his shots effectively. Crawford's unorthodox style might also prove to be a problem for Canelo, who is more accustomed to facing opponents with a more traditional approach. However, Bivol knows that simply relying on skill won't be enough. Crawford will need to adapt to the increased weight and handle Canelo's pressure in a way that has yet to be seen from him at this higher level.
Who do you think has more power out of the two?
Canelo, of course, he got used to this weight class more than Crawford. He need to get used to this power, even he's big.
So how does Canelo beat Crawford? Do you think that's a stoppage?
He could beat him, he could stop him. It could happen anyhow, you know, from both of the sides. And Canelo, of course, will try to find some hard punch.
While Bivol is cautious about Crawford's chances, others in the boxing world have their own doubts about the American's ability to succeed at super middleweight. Ryan Garcia believes that Crawford will struggle against Canelo's experience in the 168-pound division. Garcia points to Crawford's recent fight with Israel Madrimov at 154 pounds as evidence that moving up to a heavier weight may not be the right move. Crawford did not look dominant dominant in that fight, which leads Garcia to question how he will fare against someone as physically imposing as Canelo. Crawford's inability to impose himself against Madrimov raises concerns about his ability to do the same against Canelo, whose power and experience in the division are unmatched.
How does he fare against Canelo?
Can't beat Canelo. No way. I mean, I don't see him beating Canelo. He didn't even look that strong against Madrimov, to be honest. And Madrimov's not even a big.
Yeah, different style though. Madrimov has a jerky
different style, yeah, but
in and out, count him, punching, hard to time.
The thing with Canelo is he's mastered his style, and he ain't gonna change it up. But he's mastered it. Like he understands what's going on in the ring at all times. I just don't see Terrence beating him. I don't.
Juan Manuel Marquez shares similar concerns. While he acknowledges Crawford's exceptional talent, he emphasizes the importance of weight classes in boxing. Canelo has faced and defeated much larger opponents, and if Crawford is unable to make Canelo respect his punches, he could be in for a difficult night. Marquez believes that the power disparity between the two fighters could play a decisive role in the fight, with Canelo's strength overwhelming Crawford if the latter is unable to find a way to handle it.
I don't like the fight because Terrence Crawford is a good fighter, but in the sport of boxing, it has divisions. You know what I mean? You know?
Right. Weight classes.
You know what?
Right.
Yeah, weight classes
for a reason.
Weight classes for And Terrence Crawford is a good fighter in super lightweight, welterweight, super welterweight, but I think more. I remember when Terrence Crawford fought with Madrimov.
Yes.
He looks slow. He looks. With no power and three more divisions, two more divisions. I think it's a top fight for Terrence Crawford, but Terrence Crawford is a great fighter. He has a great defense. He has a good combination of punches, but I think the weight class is no good for him.
On the other hand, some believe that size won't be the key factor in the fight. Ronnie Shields suggests that Crawford's boxing IQ and skill set could be enough to navigate the weight jump. While Shields acknowledges that Canelo's size is a factor, he believes that Crawford's ability to think in the ring, along with his movement and agility, will be the deciding factors in the fight. Crawford won't have to worry about draining himself to make weight, unlike Canelo, who has to cut down to 168 pounds. This could give Crawford a physical advantage, as he would enter the fight fully hydrated and energized.
Terrence Crawford is one of the smartest fighters I've ever seen. Very smart, always in shape, you know. And he can figure out anybody. And it don't make no difference if it's two weight classes or not. If you have it here, and you have the skills to match this, that's tough to do, no matter who you are.
Shields also believes that the size difference between the two might not be as significant as some are making it out to be. While Canelo may walk around at nearly 190 pounds, Crawford reportedly walks around at around 180 pounds, meaning the weight disparity on fight night may not be as dramatic as expected. Shields draws a comparison to Floyd Mayweather's victory over Canelo in 2013. At the time, Canelo was also the bigger fighter, but Mayweather used his superior speed, movement, and precision to outbox him. Shields believes that Crawford could replicate this strategy, using his footwork to keep Canelo off balance and prevent him from establishing a rhythm. Just like Mayweather, Crawford could force Canelo to reset repeatedly, a tactic that could give him the upper hand in the fight.
Canelo probably walks around 190, maybe, or a little bit less, but Crawford probably walks around 180, you know? So 168 is not gonna be a problem for him. You know, and people keep saying, oh, but the weight difference. No, it ain't that. Crawford don't have to kill himself to get to 68. Canelo does.
Despite these differing opinions, there is still widespread concern over whether Crawford will be able to handle Canelo's power. Adonis Wilkins expresses doubt that Crawford will be able to maintain his speed and effectiveness once he moves up in weight. Wilkins points out that when Canelo fought Caleb Plant, the latter was competitive in the early rounds, but eventually faded as the fight progressed. Wilkins predicts a similar outcome for Crawford, believing that while he may find success early on, the physicality of the fight will wear him down over time. If Crawford's power doesn't translate to 168 pounds, Canelo could walk him down and overpower him as the rounds go on.
No, it's gonna be at 68.
That's a bad look for Crawford. I love Crawford, dog. I think he's real talented, but we see him at 154 going up in weight class, and he kind of struggled. He didn't struggle, but that weight was definitely a difference. To go up another 2 weight classes after that, we're gonna see a lot slower Terrence Crawford. Yeah, his boxing ability is there, but Crawford don't hit like Canelo. Canelo's coming down for that fight. It's gonna be rough. So I'm gonna give it to Canelo. Love Crawford, but I'm gonna give it to Canelo.
Jim Lampley also questions Crawford's ability to cope with Canelo's size and strength. Lampley notes that Crawford's performance against Madrimov, combined with his move up in weight, could spell trouble for the welterweight star. While he acknowledges Crawford's skill, Lampley insists that weight classes exist for a reason. If Crawford is unable to hurt Canelo or prevent him from applying constant pressure, Lampley believes it could be a long night for him. Canelo is comfortable at 168 pounds, having dominated several top-level fighters, and Lampley believes that Crawford will struggle to stop him from dictating the pace of the fight.
What do you think about the fight now that you just witnessed Canelo Alvarez again in the masterclass performance?
I love Terrence Crawford, and I want him to have what he wants. But off of what I saw tonight and what I saw in Los Angeles last month when Crawford was fighting Madrimov, I am more than ever concerned that he's not big enough. And not big enough to be able to move around the ring and muscle Canelo in the way that he would have to ward off those really vicious inside power shots. I might have thought a few months ago that I would give Crawford a logical chance to win the fight.
Joel Diaz is far more critical of Crawford's chances against Canelo. He dismisses any notion that Crawford could win, calling those who think otherwise stupid. Diaz argues that the size difference between the two is simply too great to overcome. While he respects Crawford's skill set, Diaz believes that the welterweight's durability will be exposed once he steps up to face a natural super middleweight like Canelo. The sheer power and physicality of Canelo, Diaz believes, will be too much for Crawford to handle, regardless of his technical abilities.
A lot of people that say that Crawford can beat Canelo, no problem. I mean, I respect that, but I just think they're stupid. I mean, excuse my language. The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. And I can see the same thing. I mean, you saw Canelo Alvarez fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terrence Crawford moved from 47 to 54 to fight Madrimov. What did he do to Madrimov? Nothing.
A lot.
Okay, Madrimov was a 54-pounder. Now, to move up to 168, that's 2 more divisions. Canelo Alvarez will take any punch from Crawford, but I don't think Crawford will take any punches from Canelo. Remember, Canelo got hit by Triple G, the heaviest hitter in that division. And Canelo took those shots like a champ. I don't think Crawford has anything to beat Canelo.
Danny Garcia views the fight as a competitive contest, but ultimately favors Canelo due to his experience at super middleweight. Garcia acknowledges Crawford's abilities, but believes that Canelo's power and physical presence at 168 pounds will be difficult for anyone to handle. While Garcia expects the fight to be close, he predicts that Canelo's familiarity with the weight class will give him an advantage in the later rounds.
At the end of the day, they're 2 great pound-for-pound fighters, and if they feel like, it makes sense and they want to fight each other, stylistically, it's a great fight. But, Canelo, he's a big dude. And I think it'd be hard for anyone to beat him at 168. But, it's definitely a big money fight, and that's why we're all in boxing.
Amir Khan, who has faced both Canelo and Crawford, shares his thoughts on the fight, emphasizing that while Crawford is an exceptional fighter, the challenge of stepping up to super middleweight is a massive one. Khan points out that Canelo has grown and improved since their fight, remaining a dominant force in the division. And despite some critics claiming that Canelo is past his prime, Khan firmly believes that Canelo is still an elite fighter capable of handling top opposition. He suggests that Crawford's skills may not be enough to overcome Canelo's power and physicality at 168 pounds.
Well, remember, Crawford then is a big boy as well. Crawford's a big guy when it comes to a box fight. Yeah. What do you think? I think Crawford, in my opinion, but size might matter. But then again, I think since when I fought Canelo,
Canelo's become a better boxer. He started boxing more better. You know what I mean? Technical more. Especially against the last fight against Mangui. He boxed really well as well. And he's looking really good. He's still, a lot of people might say, oh, he's getting old, this, that, another. But no, Canelo's still a beast.
Sean Porter also believes that Canelo's experience will ultimately give him the upper hand in this matchup. Porter acknowledges that Crawford could find success early on, using his height and reach to control aspects of the fight, but he feels that Canelo's experience at super middleweight will be the deciding factor. Porter sees this as a true test of both fighters' strategies and abilities, but in the end, he believes that the physical toll of the fight will favor Canelo as the rounds progress.
Another big weight discrepancy. What do you think of that? Does the weight play a factor there?
I just said it, you know, and Terrence is already taller than him, you know, has the reach, you know. I'm telling y'all, that's a 50-50 fight.
Okay.
That's a 50-50 fight. It's actually perfect timing for both guys. Canelo Alvarez is losing big name fighters to fight against. There's really no one else with a big name for him to fight against. Benavidez deserves that fight.
However, not everyone shares this view. Jose Benavidez Jr., who knows Crawford personally, believes that many are underestimating his chances. While he acknowledges Canelo's size and strength, he believes that Crawford's strategic thinking and adaptability could allow him to pull off an upset. Crawford's ability to switch stances and adjust his game plan mid-fight could prove to be a key advantage against Canelo. According to Benavidez, he is confident that Crawford will come prepared with the strategy to exploit Canelo's weaknesses, which could level the playing field.
A lot of people are counting Crawford out. Crawford's a he's smart, he knows what he's doing. Canelo, you know, I mean, he's not that big of a guy. He obviously weighs more, but I mean, you can't take nothing from Crawford. He goes in there to win. So I mean, I feel like it'd be a good fight. You know, it sucks that my brother didn't get the opportunity, but I mean, only Canelo knows why it didn't happen. And you just gotta keep moving forward, you know, but it's gonna be a good fight to watch. I got Crawford on this one. The thing with him, he adjusts. He's a smart motherfucker. He adjusts. He's not only does he switch from southpaw to orthodox, but he's just a smart. He has a high IQ in boxing, you know, and that's what I feel like. All these fighters that go in there to fight Canelo, they already go in there scared, is what I believe, you know, that which already beats him, you know. So Crawford's gonna go in there to fuck, not gonna go in there to fucking. So I mean, I have it going Crawford, bro, to be honest.
One of the most vocal supporters of Crawford's chances is legendary trainer and analyst Teddy Atlas, who argues that technical skill is far more important than size in this fight. Atlas praises Crawford's boxing IQ, composure under pressure, and ability to adapt during fights. He believes that the outcome of the fight will ultimately be determined by execution and mental toughness rather than sheer physicality. According to Atlas, Crawford's ability to make in-fight adjustments and neutralize his opponent's strengths gives him a legitimate chance to defeat Canelo.
I look at Crawford as one of those special guys. I don't care if you guys are tired of me saying it. I look at him, look, Canelo's special too. I get it. And he's bigger. I get that too. And everyone's going to say, well, after Madrimov fight again, had a couple hiccups. Now he's stepping up another weight class. Now he's got to fight Canelo, who's even bigger, stronger, better puncher, you know, a unified champion that he's been, you know, all of that stuff. He's not going to be able to handle it.
Shakur Stevenson acknowledges the size and power disadvantages, but believes Crawford's intelligence and adaptability will play a crucial role in overcoming them. Stevenson respects Canelo's abilities, but believes that Crawford's approach to studying opponents and executing complex game plans will give him an edge in finding the right strategy to beat Canelo.
I think it's very difficult. Canelo got the IQ, he got the size, he got the power, maybe. It's a very difficult fight, but I think if anybody could get it done, it's Terrence Crawford.
On a different note, Frank Warren sees the potential matchup between Crawford and Canelo as a massive business opportunity. Rather than focusing solely on the technical aspects of the fight, Warren believes that the right marketing and promotion could turn the event into one of the biggest spectacles in modern boxing. According to Warren, the clash between two of the sport's best fighters, each with their own strong fan bases, could generate tremendous mainstream interest, making the fight as much about creating a spectacle as it is about the sport itself.
Our story from the ring, which of course is owned by Turki Al-Sheikh, states that on September 13th, they are going to in fact do Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford. Are you surprised that they got this over the line, that it appears to be a done deal for Las Vegas's Allegiant Stadium?
Look, if it's done, I mean, as a boxing fan, I can't wait to see that fight. It's a fabulous fight. If anyone can get it done, His Excellency's the man, and you know, he's been a massive fan of both those guys. And I know when we've sat down, or when we sit down and talk about up and coming shows, that's one he's always wanted. He's always said he'd love to see, and I'm pretty positive that it will happen, and fingers crossed they get that over the line, because what a fight that'll be between those two, and a great fight for American boxing.
Yes.
You know, it's a real great fight. I mean, you need great fights.
So what are your thoughts about this fight? Do let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.